Hey guys, welcome back to Survivopedia. My name is Jason Salyer, and I think it's a very good idea if you are ever interested in traveling to wild, remote places to have tons of tools in your memory tool bank. And one of those things is a simple hack, a Sharpie hack. These things are remarkably good at making fire, believe it or not. I was not aware of this until I experimented with it a while back, a couple years back. But they are actually a really helpful thing to have, not just for making notes and writing on stuff permanently, but if you need a hand making a fire, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. If a ferro rod is your primary means of ignition, sometimes it can be pretty tricky, if not impossible, to get dry tinder. You've usually got to make it if it's really wet conditions. But in this situation, I can skip, if I've got a Sharpie, I can skip the tinder phase of fire making by just igniting my Sharpie. And then I can use it to light any small kindling that I can find. Lit. Not quite. There it goes. So I've got a flame on my Sharpie, and it's basically like a candle. This thing will burn for a really long time. It will burn even after all of the ink has been burned up inside of it, because the plastic itself is obviously flammable. And if I want to put it out, stick my cap on it, put it out, and then I can light it back up again after I've used it as basically a candle. Let's say you've got some marginal tinder, a little bit of tinder, not much, or it's wet or damp or whatever. You can add to it by making shavings. Using the back of my knife, you can use the blade as well, but if you want to save the edge, you can use the back of your knife as long as it's kind of been sharpened to a 90-degree spine like this one. I can scrape my Sharpie and I can get myself a big bundle of the plastic shavings. You can add that to your tinder bundle. And then if you wanted to go one step further after you've done that, you can take the marker apart. You can pull it apart like that, and you pull out the ink cartridge, ink tube, whatever you want to call it, and inside of that is ink that can be squeezed out of there. It's going to make a mess and get all over you almost certainly. I can drop some of that into my bird's nest, my tinder bundle, and that flammable ink, got it all over me. That flammable ink will get my fire going very easily. There we go. So if that was a wet tinder bundle, it wasn't. It was a nice dry one, but you kind of get the concept. It would help me, it'd give me a little bit of extra burn time, a little bit extra fuel in there to help dry out my tinder bundle. And then you can just add that ink cartridge in there if you wanted to. If you needed to, just throw the whole thing in there. You can see how easy that burns. And that would burn for quite a while. Something else I can do with my Sharpie, the tube that it comes in, is I could cut off the end of my tube, and then I've got myself a nice little straw that I could use to stoke my fire and focus that air at the base of my fire where the coals are that needs the oxygen the most. It is so hot and humid out here. I don't know if you can see my shirt, but it is soaked, and I'm not even doing anything. And I can bring it to life. Anytime it's hot and humid like this, cold and humid, I guess, could be a thing, but mostly in summer times when we deal with a lot of humidity, obviously, it can be difficult to get a fire going, and sometimes it needs some forced oxygen in a straw like this. Really lets you direct that air exactly where you want it at the base of the fire, and it can help you get it going. That plastic is still going strong minutes later. It's probably been 5 minutes since I lit that ink tube up. It's still burning. It's a pile of goo at the moment, but it would still be drying out my tinder, still be drying out my kindling if that's what I needed it to do. Well, there you have it, guys. Sharpie survival hack right there. Sharpie's a multi-purpose implement that you can throw in your pocket and help you start a fire, and obviously use it right as it was intended. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, guys. I really, really do appreciate it. Make sure you hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and make sure you leave me a comment. Tell me what you think about this Sharpie hack. Tell me if you've got any other hacks out there that I'm not aware of. Appreciate it. See ya.